run these worlds. I'm Taylor Felicity. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be your MC for season 2 of Monster Hearts freshman year. As the name indicates, we're playing Monster Hearts 2 by Avery Alder, who describes this game as a high school horror show. Although this particular series takes place in a college setting. I've got some content warnings for sex, violence, and general horror elements. Definitely things that are going to come up during this season. And that's really all I have to say. I'm keeping it short and sweet. So I'm going to throw it over to my players for them to introduce themselves. And we're starting with Ava.
Hello, my darlings and dears. It's Madam Ava here, and I am playing Athena. We both use she, her pronouns. And I'm going to throw it over to MJ.
What's up, everyone? My name is MJ. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Leia, the werewolf of the group. And I'm gonna pass things over to Val.
Sup, my name is Val. Hey, how's it going? I'm playing Sully. Sully's a he-him kind of guy. I'm an any-all kind of cryptid. That's what I'm doing.
Perfect. Val is also our producer, so shout out to Val for the production work. We wouldn't be here without you, literally.
Man, it's a good thing I fought off that Benadryl this morning. I was almost down for the count, y'all. I was like, I thought it was a Claritin, and within 25 minutes, I was just like, this is not a Claritin.
Oh no. Yes, much appreciate your work. And battling the tech gremlins as always seems to happen for live streams. But with that, I'm actually gonna really just jump right into our game. And this is season 2, episode 1. So I do have a little last season on Monster Hearts for anyone who didn't catch the last season or saw some of it but not all of it, and also just for us as players to remind ourselves since it's been a few months since the finale. So last season on Monster Hearts freshman year, Professor Vernon Allen, a black man in his 30s, writes the words Gen 100 Life at Buckland on the whiteboard. The camera pans across a room of college freshmen, lingering on one, Jude Martinez, a young man with soft features, light brown skin, and curly brown hair, looking at his phone. He sends a Snapchat to a contact named Sully that says, "Are you going to the party in Portage Woods tonight?" The camera zooms in on the phone as Sully responds with an emphatic yes. The light on the phone shifts as the camera slowly dollies out at a low angle, revealing a new shot of Jude's lifeless hand among the leaves in Portage Woods. The phone lights up with a message from Sully. "Are you okay?" The camera continues to dolly out, and we can see a dark, fanged figure standing astraddle over Jude's body. The figure hunches over him, and the camera tilts up to the trestle bridge above, where a ghostly and ghastly young woman stands illuminated by the moon. There's a howl. And then the theme music for this episode kicks in. Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd. We see a montage of shots for each main character. First, a redheaded freshman wearing a flannel shirt looks up with a crooked smile as she finishes picking a lock. We see a shot of her doing a keg stand in the woods, showing a crisscross of silvery scars on her back. A dramatic shot of her werewolf transformation, followed by her tackling another student to the ground. A close-up of a cut on her face being carefully tended to, while a feminine hand holds her chin. Finally, a shot of her sitting on a dorm desk chair, scratching the back of her head in a distinctly dog-like manner as the name Leia Dansby appears on screen. The next montage, we see twin freshmen with intimidatingly cool fashion sense sit down at a table in the dining hall together. Other students quickly flocking to join them. They look identical except for their hair. One wears her dark brown and white hair in braids. The other has the front part of her hair dyed bright red. Another shot of the twin with red in her hair performing a song in the woods, her expression barely containing the glee of watching people visibly fawn over her. We see another shot of her talking to a professor, tossing a callous parting shot over her shoulder as he visibly deflates. We see a shot from above as she looks distinctly more bird-like as she throws herself in the way of a sword, taking a blow to the shoulder. Her name, Athena Moore, appears on screen. The handsomest boy with the biggest, straightest teeth trots around the track, whips off his shirt with a flirty smile as he reveals his glistening chest and back to onlookers. Another shot of him, arm up on the wall, leaning in close to a visibly flustered fellow student. We see a close-up of his eyes widen in fear, nostrils flaring, followed by a shot of him sitting on the sidewalk, wiping blood from his nose before reaching up for help. Finally, a shot of him eating a plate of waffles in big, greedy bites as his name, Sully Marcos, appears. And then the last is for a player who's not here today, but her character will still be here. We see a close shot of a face obscured by a camera, which lowers and reveals the timid smile of a petite freshman with short, dark hair wearing a cute short skirt with leggings and combat boots. There's a shot of her in Portage Woods, another freshman who looks a lot like her but taller, looking sheepishly around the party. We see a close-up of her concentrated eyes developing film in the red light of the college photo lab. Another shot of her unconscious body, a trickle of blood on her forehead. Finally, she's seated with the others at a booth in Waffle House, a small smile of content looking around at her new friends as her name appears, Sam Torres. The last thing we see as the song finishes playing is all four students in a dark parking lot outside of Huffman Hall. Athena, Leia, and Sully's faces are illuminated by police and ambulance lights strobing in slow motion as Sam, unconscious on a gurney, is wheeled past, her eyes just starting to flutter open. She gives a weak smile as she sees the ghostly woman from the bridge being arrested. Her eyes close again. Everything is dark. All we can hear is the sound of panting breath and tinny music, the song Freak of Nature by Heart Attack Man, coming from somewhere. The sound is broken by a woman's voice saying, "Hey, put away the headphones, ready up." MJ.
Okay.
Tell us what Leia looks like as she heads out. I don't think you're in the starting lineup for the game, but heading out like to the rink, yeah.
No, I am starting on the bench because I'm a freshman. I've got to earn my way. So in the tunnel leading between the locker room and the ice, Leia has her big old headphones on. Her hair is up so she can put her helmet on. She looks bulkier than usual, and that's because she's in her full hockey gear. The shoulder pad, it would look natural if you hadn't seen her outside of them before, but you can tell that there's a lot of padding on her shoulders and around her thighs, mostly. I have no idea what the Buckland hockey kit looks like. It's probably a color that does not go with her hair very well.
I think did we talk about this last season that you said it looked like it was like bright green and
yellow?
It was not during the stream, but I feel like you said that there was a kit that it looked like that was like a Monster Energy drink.
The Dallas Stars Monster Energy alt. That's what it looks like to me. So mostly black, but with like lime green highlights. Her name and number are in lime green. She wears 24. And so she has the headphones on. She has the gloves on. She has her entire rest of her kit. She's like shadowboxing the air in the tunnel. She's like pumping herself up. Because she's in her skate, she's not doing full jumps, but she's doing like little bunny hops. And she's like, all right. Her hair's up. It is in sort of a low, loose bun, just to keep it out of her face and so no one can grab it, which is something that she's terrified about. And then as soon as the coach says, take the headphones off, she's like, okay, all right. Okay, got this.
Yeah, I also think, Ava, is everything okay on your end?
As a heads up, everyone, I'm on the East Coast and there's a storm happening. So if I disappear, that's the reason why.
Oh no, I hope not.
Me
and MJ are gonna carry this.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go be bros.
Just do a series of scenes. MJ, we have not talked about this at all, but I thought so the name of the mascot for the school is the Loveland Frog. It's Lovey the Loveland Frog. So I thought of this last night as such a bad name for a hockey team, but I think your hockey team name are the Spring Peepers. Because that's a type of frog and a frog that like does well in like cold environments. And so given like the
Nice.
lime green of the
Yep.
of your hockey uniforms, um I
Everyone
think
is
that's
making
funny.
fun of us because we're fucking peepers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
oh,
goes Ava.
there's Ava. um, do we need I can keep going, but I know you'll need to adjust. Should
Yep,
we
I got it
break
adjusted.
or
No,
okay.
just keep going. We're good.
Okay. Um, okay. So, Leia, you've already kind of described what Leia looks like right now. Is there any way that you would say that she looks different since the last time we saw her, which has been several months?
Yeah. So, to recap her general appearance, she is a 6 foot tall, white woman with freckles, auburn hair. Uh, she carries herself very differently when she's in her kit. And part of that is that all the padding is pretty bulky, and so she can't do her usual, like, punkish slouch nonsense. But there's a little bit of a fire under her. She looks very determined. And one of the things that is big in Monster Hearts is your character's eyes. And when I was first making her, I know that I said that she had, I think it was fierce eyes, and that one of the first things you notice is that once she gets your gaze, she does not move it. And I think if anything, that is very amplified. Like she is head on looking at the ice, ready to go out and hunt something? Question mark?
Yes, perfect. I let me look back at, sorry, let me find my place in my notes. Yeah, I think so as you're like heading out for like the game to start. And this is another MJ, I know almost nothing about hockey. I've been to other sports events. Is there usually like the thing with like I know with like soccer and baseball usually before the game like you're kind of out like on the field or whatever. Like is that also a thing with hockey that you would be like doing like some last minute like, you know, practice before the game starts, or is that not as much of a thing?
Yeah, so there's usually like a lazy loop around where everyone takes a couple of shots, and then all of the starters line up on one line. Everyone who's playing that's not a starter is back on another line, and they're usually like shuffling from foot to foot a little bit during all of the pregame, pure our starters. Don't don't berate the student athletes or the refs, or we have a right to remove you. Uh, so yeah, she's out on the ice before the game starts doing a lot of that preliminary stuff.
As she's out on the ice doing that preliminary stuff and the game is like, getting ready to start, in the crowd, there's a slender white college student with long brown hair. She leans forward excitedly, clapping and cheering. She's recently gotten bangs and she wears them incredibly. And she is shouting, "Woo, go!" and is like clapping. Like the game has not started yet. You're just kind of, doing the around. She turns to the young man that she's with and says, "She told me a million times that it's not really her job to score and like not to get my hopes up, but I don't know, Sully. I feel like she can do really whatever she wants out there."
Oh, oh yeah, because she's very athletic.
Yeah, and she just is like so confident out there. Like I feel like, normally when you talk to her, it's like she's kind of like on edge or like nervous or something. But like as soon as she gets out on the ice, I just feel like she's like knows exactly what she's doing and, it's like she's like a different person.
Yeah, totally in her element because it's Leia was made for the ice, and I just sort of squint a little bit, like so. B.
Yeah.
Do you like Leia? Do you like girls?
No. So out of the blue, B looks like kind of surprised, and in that moment of surprise, two things. One, what does Sully look like? How has Sully changed since the last time that we saw him? And then I'll have another question for you after
Yeah,
that.
so Sully is a spicy white man. And he's spicy white because he's got Greek ancestry. Um, and he's also 6 feet tall. Really, he's 5'11" and a half, but 5'11" doesn't exist. You're either 5'10" or 6 foot. And he says that he's 6 foot because he's slightly closer to 6 feet. Mm-hmm. So he says he's 6 foot. He's very lithe in his build because he's a runner and a track. He's also into sports, just not contact sports. He's got this fluffy, dark, ash brown hair. With very similar colored eyes. There's maybe like a hint of hazel, but he's got brown eyes as well. And he's cute. He's got perfectly straight white teeth. And yeah, he knows he's attractive, but only like physically. Like his personality could use some work.
What?
And that's mostly because he grew up in like a small town in Ontario. He says he's from Toronto, but he's not. It's just kind of like, I equate it to say the same where it's like people don't know where your small town is, so you just say the biggest city. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm from Toronto. No, he's not from Toronto. He's from some hick town in Ontario where no one can bother his mom. But yeah, but the way that he's like looking at B right now, and she can probably tell, it's not like out of disdain, it's out of like sheer curiosity. Mm-hmm. And he didn't say it loud enough for like the people around to hear because he knows better. It was more of just like he's like nonchalantly leaning back, and he just kind of like leans over and he's like, yo, because somehow he don't know how he could pick up on that, but it could explain why she didn't return his calls for a while.
So that was going to be my second question, which is, what is the status of Sully and B? Because last season started off with Sully and B making out, like they were kind of hanging out. Things got like kind of wild in those first few days of the semester where you weren't talking much, but last season took course over the span of, I think, 5 days. Yeah. So, a lot could happen since then.
So it's freshman year of college. There's no reason to commit to anybody. And they've probably had that conversation. There's no reason to commit. But I imagine that they have met up a couple of times to hang out, to make out, to study. Mm-hmm. And she's not the only one that he's done that with. So, yeah. And vice versa, I'm assuming. And, they have had that adult conversation of, like, we're not exclusive, we're just having a good time. So he really does have, like, if she likes Leia, Sully's an ally.
Ally. The
ally returns, he's into it. Yeah. Like, he's not into it in, like, that kind of way, but he's into it. At the same time, if they wanted to, he wouldn't be mad about it.
Oh my god.
He hasn't had group sex yet, so he's into it. To be fair, he hasn't had one-on-one sex yet, so...
No. Yeah, so Sully, you asked this question of, like, do you like Leia? Are you into girls?
Ava's back.
B, like, kind of... Oh, Ava's back. Thank God.
I just want to say that this storm is anti-MonsterHearts because how dare it turn off during my stream and not while I was at work. So... Screw you, Storm.
Yeah, the internet is homophobic. I will just say, I have a home game of Monster. While Val's getting everyone's cameras in place, I have a home game of MonsterHearts that like an hour and a half into the session, my internet just completely cut out like mid-sentence. And when I checked Spectrum, it was like, your internet is out due to a storm. And I was like, there's no storm happening. And it was out for like a day. And I was like, there's nothing going on. So the internet is homophobic. We can determine that, and anti-MonsterHearts for some reason. But Ava, you got here really really just in time. Sully just asked B if she was into Leia and if she liked girls. So that's the main thing he missed, other than Sully reintroducing himself.
Which is how he started off last season too, by asking Sam. So we're good.
It's kind of like that thing in Love Actually, where the one woman at the wedding like just goes up to the guy and is like, "Are you in love with your best friend? I just thought maybe no one had asked yet, and you needed someone to talk to." So B looks at you, and there's like kind of a little bit of like startle and like confusion on her face, and she's like, "Leia's my roommate. Like, we're friends."
There, the absolute, you know what, he doesn't know how to mask. He just goes, "And they were roommates," at her.
She rolls her eyes and she's like, "Sully, not every female friendship is like romantic."
Yeah, I know. Just like not every dude. Like, okay, Sam and Frodo are a little sus, but like not Aragorn and Boromir. That wasn't, but Sam Frodo for sure. I have theories about that. like, do you honestly think hobbits are not in polycules? Hobbits are in polycules. Sorry.
I always forget that Sully is like an English major and like really into books, and then he just starts talking about it. I'm like, oh
yeah, he's a lit major. So I got my theories, but anyway, okay, I was just asking, you know, like it's in my experience, when girls talk about somebody like that, it means that they like them. That's all.
You only hang out with lesbians.
So I'm right, because I hang out with you.
She rolls her eyes and she's like, I think she kind of like, I'm trying to think of how she would say this. She rolls her eyes and she's like, okay, well, for a lesbian, I guess I kiss boys, including you, a lot.
Okay, but you could be a bisexual.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Okay, I mean, if you're not, you're not. You know, you can continue to live that way. I support you no matter what, friend B.
I'm an ally to the straights as well.
Just the closeted ones.
I think
He's
Sully
just an ally towards women in general. Okay.
yeah. And yeah, she like kind of rolls her eyes and like goes back to looking at what's going on the ice. Meanwhile, also in the crowd, we see a group of students, a mix of freshmen, sophomores, even a few juniors and seniors, sitting closely clustered around a pair of freshman students who are identical twins. They lean in, talking excitedly about the latest gossip, vying for attention as if they are undernourished flowers and the two students are the sun. One of them, Kylie, shifts in her seat uncomfortably, putting out a hand with a bit of a grimace in an attempt to maintain her personal bubble. Ava, what does Athena look like and what is she doing?
Athena is, with last season, Athena has this energy of very welcoming and warm, and everyone should be her friend because she's just that cool. Very relaxed, but also like doesn't need to do much to look put together, and like very beautiful, but like still like in a cool way. This season, she still has a relaxing nature, but her face is a bit sharper. Her eyes are a bit more, they seem to like drill daggers into people, especially if they look at her a specific way. She's kind of quiet and a bit more withdrawn, but still like whenever someone comes to her, she'll put on that persona again and just being like, "Oh yes, come through, people. I love people so much." But she's also kind of a bit more reserved with her sister and trying to not take up too much space, but willing to go out there if she needs to.
Yeah, so it sounds like you and Kylie both have the same kind of attitude, which is like everyone's being a little bit much. The students around you are kind of a mix of different people in your life. It's mostly from the oh, I forget what it's called, the jazz group that you're in. Was it jazz club or like a performing?
Yes, jazz club.
Jazz club. It's mostly students from jazz club. There's some other people here too that are like friends with either you or Kylie. But it is mostly jazz club, which is why it's like a mix of ages that are sitting by you. And they're, kind of like leaning in and like talking excitedly about different things just going on campus. And not really paying attention to the game. In fact, a couple of them are like, I think, asking questions or like looking up on their phones like things about hockey, like, okay, how does this game work? Like comparing it to other sports. And Kylie, I think, looks at you and there's kind of an unspoken uh kind of a vibe of like, should we like get out of here? Like kind of look at you as you're both kind of like, this is a lot.
No, I want to see if they put Leia in the game. I want to support friends. Should I yell? Do you think if I yell loud enough they'll put her in the game, or is that gonna just embarrass her? I think it's gonna embarrass her.
I think it would embarrass her, but like then maybe they would put her in. So
hold on, let me see if I have a thing for that. No, we won't do haunting melody for this, but she is going to stand up and just yell really loudly. What number is Leia?
24.
What's 24?
yeah, you yell that.
FPS is being really dumb right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's. Let me just. Alright, we're back on, everyone. Sorry about that. I had tech gremlins. I'm on the West Coast, and our storm is starting to also brew. So,
Homophobic.
Yeah, just
Homophobic.
Winter, bro. Winter.
Winter hates MonsterHearts.
It's true.
And that's why I'm a hater of winter things. Summer would never do this to me.
So yeah, Athena had shouted out like, put 24 in. And immediately, like the other people in your group, they don't know what this means. But it's like Athena's doing it, we're gonna do it. So a little like chant kind of starts up from the other students. The game has not started yet. These other students are yelling, put 24 in, put 24 in. Kind of
I'm a role
cheering.
model. What can I say?
Honestly, as soon as like Sully hears it, he's also just gonna start chanting too.
MJ,
Yeah.
would any members of like the men's hockey team be watching the game?
Probably. There's a lot of like cross gender sport pollution. What I'm saying is that the women's hockey Habs, husbands and boyfriends, are the men's hockey wags at this state, so I feel like
Okay.
into each
That makes
other's
sense.
game.
Perfect. Yeah, so I think there's like definitely some of the like men's hockey team that joins in on this. One of the people on the men's hockey team is someone who was in your orientation class, Hunter Hansley. So apart from anything else, he also just like knows you and is cheering. How's Leia feeling? How do you react to this?
Embarrassment. I think that, she has her helmet on, but she's like rubbing her temples through it, and she's talking to the people next to her in blind. She's like, I'm playing today. I'm not starting because I'm a freshman, but I will have minutes.
I think the person you turn to is Trinity Cole, who is a junior. And she's one of the like either like star players or kind of like up and coming players. So she's like starting, definitely. And she kind of like pats you like really really hard on the shoulder, but like in a friendly way. Um, and is like crowd favorite. I mean, as long as we're getting butts and seats.
Yeah, whatever it takes, right?
And I think she's, gets up, skates over to the starting lineup, whatever it's called. Because because the game is about to start. And the puck hits the ice, everything is suddenly in motion. People in the crowd stop chanting 24 in because now it's like, okay, the game is start, like, things are happening. And the first part of the game, that before Leia like gets into it, is pretty evenly matched, despite the fact that the other team, the Hadrian University Bobcats, who are from Michigan, had to do some Ohio, Michigan stuff in this, are towing the line on some of their offense. Especially one of the girls on the other team, number 15. She's like kind of small and quick, but vicious. And is really, you can see from like the sidelines, either the refs are turning a blind eye or it's just that she's quick enough that they're not catching it. And she's not like completely body checking people, but like is really, really towing the line. And some of the times, like you would be like, maybe a ref would call that. And especially seems to be targeting Trinity, who is like one of the better players. So like any chance that she can get, number 15 is kind of like been a little bit aggressive. What is Leia doing, and also what are like the other people in the crowd, namely Sully and Athena? What's going on with you guys?
Yeah, so Leia is not a person who sits still ever. She is on the bench in that she is, in the area where people sit on the bench, but she does a thing where she's like fully sitting over it and has one leg over so that as soon as there's a shift change, she can just throw herself onto the ice. She's a chirper. She's a born chirper. Every second she's running her mouth, she is both going like, oh yeah, like 1-1, supporting her own team, but also calling out some of the Bobcats and saying like, oh, you skate like my great grandma.
Leia, I think go ahead and roll to shut someone down. I think the target of this is going to be specifically number 15, just because that's kind of the antagonistic player as opposed to like shut someone down on the whole team.
Yeah, I'm not good enough for that one yet.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll plus cold.
All right. That is a 7.
Okay, on a 7 that is just a mixed success. You get to choose from some options for number 15. She doesn't have any strings on you. So you could gain a string on her, you could give her a condition, or you could take +1 to your next roll. And just a reminder, conditions are what other people in society think of that character. So if you give someone a condition, it's kind of like, like if you gave her the condition of like cheater or something, like the people in the crowd would be like, hey, like she's cheating, she's like not following the rules, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna save this for later, but I don't know if I'll get the chance later. So I think that because Leia's very protective of her friends, and so she is noticing that a lot of missed calls are happening, and she's not fond of it. So I think that as soon as she picks up on that, all of her chirping is yelling like, hey, Stripes, gotta look at 1-5. She's got a target on everyone's back, and like trying to bring attention to that. So she is going to give that player the condition of dirty. Not like physically dirty, but like
playing dirty. Yeah. I like that. Let me write that down. Number 15 has condition dirty. And yeah, I think this is another situation where you can start to hear some like chattering from the crowd. I think it mostly starts with the men's hockey team since they're the people who most understand what's going on. What's going on with Sully and Athena in the crowd?
I feel like with Athena, let me see. Is there any way? Hmm. I feel like she's trying her best not to get too involved. She's originally from Canada. Her dad really likes hockey. She tries her best not to pay much attention, but she does appreciate a good brawl when it does occur in hockey. So she
Uh-huh.
relatively knows the rules. Don't ask me, I don't know. But she's just trying her best to like rein it in and not get overly excited. But if there's
Mhm.
an instance when it looks like a fight may happen, I do want to try to do a Rocky Coast to
Oh
convince
yeah.
someone to destroy something.
Well, we will put a pin in that. Yeah, for sure. What about Sully?
Sully, I mean, Sully, as Canadian, enjoys hockey. Like,
The two Canadians just chilling in the
just,
background.
he's into it. He's got his Coke Zero with him, and is chirping at refs because that's what the sideline does. No
Yeah.
players chirping at the refs. Um,
Um, yeah, it's definitely getting like it's not getting it's still the vibe of like a normal
yeah,
sports game right now. Like it's not nothing's like oh super intense or anything like that. But people are in the crowd are getting a little bit, like what especially once like, people can hear Leia saying something to the refs, people can hear Sully picking it up, some of the men's team, and this is a home game, so like of
yeah.
course pretty much everyone watching is gonna be on the side of the Spring Peepers anyway. And that's kind of the way the game continues for a little while, through the whole first period actually. And we'll kind of cut ahead to some point during like the second period of the game. Leia, you get like, called in to
Yep.
to join the game. And yeah, what is Leia like seeing, feeling, hearing as you skate out onto the ice?
So even though she wasn't a born werewolf, because you assume usually that if your parents are werewolves, you're going to be one. She was put into sports very early. Her parents essentially said, "You get to pick what sport, but we're going to put you in a sport because it's really good practice for like healthy exercising of your emotions and also healthy exercising period. And you'll be better able to deal with werewolf impulses." So I think that she's very well trained at just blocking out crowd noise. She like if anyone outside of the ice is chirping, she gets very, very aggressive tunnel vision. Um, and her yeah, so most of what she's focused on is just the ice. She's been watching the players that she's going to be facing a lot, and her main job is to essentially wear out the other team. That's what the third line does. Keep control of the puck and just like skate rings around them so that they're exhausted by the time that the stars come in. So that is most of what she is focused on doing. And if a goal happens, great, a goal happens.
Yeah, you start, you're on the ice and doing what you described. Um and I think a few minutes into your you being out there, it happens again. Before you even have a chance to block her, number 15 tucks her body in low and slams into Trinity. This time, like a real hard body check. She sweeps her legs, like basically hits her real low, sweeps her legs and slams her into the side of the wall. Trinity hits the ice like kind of in a sprawl, like completely taken out, and quickly like goes to like cover her head and neck. And immediately like the other players on your
Mm-hmm.
team are like everyone's body language changes as this is like a palpable, like dirty hit on your teammate.
Mm-hmm.
What does Leia do?
The first thing that you hear is a clatter of her stick hitting the ice. She has it in her hand. She's probably like skating forward. So it was held to her side. She fully picks it up to throw it down. And then she just starts like, hey, 1-5, get over here. You want to go? You want to go? Come on, be a big woman. And as soon as she is just like, come on, like, hit me, go for it. As soon as that player turns around to get her attention, she has her gloves on. She flicks the gloves off. And then she pulls her helmet off and she fully squares up.
Yeah, I think the reaction from number 15 is like she just kind of like puts her arms out like, what? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, acting like she did nothing.
No, you want to go? You want a dirty hit? Okay, come here. I'm your target now. And yeah, Leia's just like skating into the fray. She's making herself look like big, strong, and scary. Like, oh, you want to hit people? Cool, I'm right here. Let's. And I think she fully says like, come on, let's dance.
Is Leia?
Oh no, she's gonna murder that girl.
Oh yes, she's gonna murder that girl.
This is
Leia, are you just trying to get this other person to hit you, or are you going in for like an attack?
I'm going in for an attack. If she
cool.
if she tries to play dumb and like this is part of the game, no, I'm gonna defend my teammate.
She tries to play dumb, and I think as you're coming up to her, she kind of like puts her hands out and like pushes you back a little bit, still in this attitude of like, oh, this person is like coming up on me and I didn't like even do anything. So like kind of like pushes you back on your skates a little bit. Go ahead and roll lash out physically.
Yeah, I think that as she starts pushing back, that like her hackles raise up and she's like, oh, are you not so scary when you have to fight on even ground? Okay. And then when the hand like comes back out, she grabs the girl by the jersey and she starts going in full hockey fight style.
I will also say, if you take advantage of her condition of like being a dirty player, you can add 1 to this roll.
do it.
All right, folks, that is a 9. Ooh, which is exactly what I wanted.
On a 9, you do harm her, but you choose 1. Either she learns something about your true nature and gains a string on you. I decide how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darkest self.
You know what? I know that we talked in session 0 that you were like, I can choose how bad the harm turns out. So first of all, a couple of things. I think once the actual fist fight starts, Leia's not dodging. Like most of the time, you know, there's the little dance where you're grabbing Trevor's jerseys and they try to duck out of the way. She is not thinking about that. She's not thinking about dodging hits at all. She's like, if I get punched in the face, I get punched in the face. That is less important right now than just mauling this girl.
Yeah.
But I think it would be so interesting if she learned something about my true nature, especially from this close a distance. The helmet is off, so like you can see her teeth are a little too sharp, her eyes are a little too intense.
Cool. Okay, so this lash out physically is like, you know, in games like this, it's not necessarily like a blow by blow, like you do that and then this person does this. So this is representing kind of this brawl. So I'll say some things, then Sully and Athena feel free to, you know, chime in, especially Athena. I know you wanted to try to convince someone to destroy something. But first, Leia, you have, you know, like taken your like gloves off. You took your helmet off, right? Or you took her helmet off? Okay. So yeah, you have your helmet off, you have your gloves off, and are just wailing on this person. And it immediately turns into like a full-on scrum of like all the like the players from her team are like trying to pull you off of her. The players from your team are trying to like help you because they're like, we've had enough. This girl has been like, you know, playing dirty this entire time. And as you are like just going to town on number 15, who is trying to fight back, but Leia, you're bigger than her. And you're especially bigger than her when Leia might not even notice this, but this girl definitely does. Your nails start to elongate Your hands get like a little bit hairy. Your eyes go a little bit into like that werewolf self. It's not a full transformation, but you do not look fully human right now. And she's really the only person who can see it. Her eyes go wide with fear, as you do one harm to her, which for this game is like pretty significant. Like you're doing like actual like broken bone or strained ligaments, like that kind of damage with one harm. I will say though, especially because you're not, you specifically said I don't really care if I get hit. You're also going to take one harm, not from her, but from her teammates who are like grabbing you, like punching you. Like this is, and also like kind of just trying to um like dogpile you. Like literally just all like just all like climbing on top to try to like hold you down. And while this is popping off, Athena, what do you want to do from the crowd?
A quick clarifying question as someone who does not know hockey, even though I date Canadians. When it comes to brawls, are there any penalties that happen if it is the team that like starts it first or like puts more impacted? Okay.
There's an additional instigator penalty.
Okay. So what I want to do is, I don't know exactly where Athena's position, but she wants to try to get as close to like the barrier as possible. And towards the enemy team, she's going to do like this. If Kylie will know what she's doing, but for most other people, they probably won't catch it unless they really look at her. She's going to like start mouthing a bit and easing into the siren abilities to do like a sing-songy, but back in the like quietly to activate Rocky Coast, and it just essentially the whisper of, "She made you look bad. Oh, that's so horrible. Don't you just want to break her just a little bit? Not her face. It's too beautiful, but something on her. Something fragile. Something that will make her look terrified." Mainly because she knows that Leia can take it. But she doesn't want Leia to get hurt. Like, probably just equipment damaging. She doesn't want Leia to specifically get hurt, even if she knows that Leia will be fine.
Yes, this is no role required, I think, just due to the nature of what's going on. You're just kind of doing a little bit of like extra, instigating.
Being nice. I want to just go ape shit.
And I think you kind of like someone is kind of like skating by you to like join, maybe like the goalie from the other team.
Goalies always want to fight. They always want to, they never get to.
And it's coming like from the furthest side. Like all this happened kind of on the other side of the the rink. So kind of like as she skates by, catches, and like you said, doesn't necessarily hear what you say, but the magical intention of like what you're whispering seems to kind of like fuel her a little bit more. And Leia, you don't completely get like knocked unconscious, but as she like the goalie kind of is like the last the last blow for you as she skates up and just delivers a solid hit to like the back of your like I'm not gonna say the back of your head, I think, because that actually probably would knock you out, but like probably the small of your back, like just a punch that leaves you feeling
in the kidney.
Dazed.
In the fucking kidney.
Yeah. And like I said, you're not like fully unconscious, but like stuns you enough that when the referees and like the coaches and people are waiting and to literally pull everyone away from each other, you can see stars a little bit, and definitely have taken one harm total. Not, you're not gonna get an additional harm, but
as I'm being pulled off by the refs and everything's being sort of separated, I want to like do like this motion to try to pump up the crowd, like, yeah, hell yeah, I was in the right.
Yeah.
And completely disheveled. The hair has come out of the bun at this point, probably just from everyone pulling on me.
Yeah.
May I roll to turn someone on?
Yes.
Because I've watched a lot of women's hockey. I know what the people want.
Yes, go ahead and roll to turn someone on. And there is maybe a specific person in the crowd.
What?
Huh?
Is it possible to assist in that? Like, I want Athena to like pull an article of clothing, like not a bra or anything, but like maybe a tank top and like toss it over. It's like, yeah, get
25. There's not like a mechanical assist in this game, but you can absolutely just like as a friend,
yeah,
like
I'm gonna
do
help
that
her a little bit more.
to pump Leia up.
That is a 10.
Amazing.
Perfect. Okay. So you get a string on B. And she gets to choose a reaction. And I think her reaction, the one that makes the most sense, especially since you're not like in proximity to each other right now, is that she gets embarrassed and acts awkward. And the main person who sees this is Sully. Sully, you're sitting with B, and as Leia is literally getting pulled off the rink,
yeah,
you can see B like start to flush a little bit. There is no heterosexual explanation for how she is looking at Leia.
No heterosexual explanation for this. I just sort of like lean in, like as I notice this, and I'd be like, "Is it women's hockey fucking great?"
Yeah, she like reaches over and kind of like squeezes your like knee like a little bit too hard. And looks like
watch those mitts there, hun.
And I think like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so she like kind of squeezes your leg, looks over at you like she is looking like a little bit flushed, and just kind of like grabs your shirt and pulls you in for a kiss. She's like, I don't know what to do with these feelings. I'm just gonna kiss this guy I've been making out with.
You know what? I will happily make out with her. She's got to work out frustrations. We both like girls. I can do this.
Yeah. So you two are kissing in the
like
bleachers.
She's so turned on right now. She has to kiss something, and I happen to be a willing participant.
Yeah. I'll ask. Does Leia see this as you are kind of? I'm imagining almost like the refs.
They have to carry me off.
I know. I'm imagining like it's like they've got like one of your arms in each arm.
One on each arm. The third one is around my waist, bear hug style.
Yeah, and you're like being pulled backwards.
Yeah,
like the ring. Do you see B and Sully kissing?
I do not. I see red. That is what I see.
Yeah, Leia gets pulled out of the game, and like pretty much dragged to the locker room, and like I think again this is like a thing where like they're talking and like berating you, and like you're just hearing like like nothing from what they're saying.
I hear my blood in my ears, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think after a little bit, your coach comes in. She's like in her probably late 40s. She's a stocky woman with kind of like short blonde hair. And I think at this point, like when she comes in, it's been like a few minutes. Like obviously the game is on hold right now. And
off the ice.
Yeah. And kind of just stands there with her arms folded, looking at you, Leia.
Yeah, I think that as soon as the refs leave, and like the immediate adrenaline of the situation is worn off, that Leia is like sitting on the bench in the locker room, doesn't have her gloves, doesn't have her helmet, though all got left. Like feels how swollen her face is. Probably feels like blood from her nose, and some of it's probably on her jersey. And just puts her head in her hands and is like, oh, that was stupid. That was really stupid. And
that
so
was
that's
really fucking stupid. Yeah, your coach is like kind of standing there, arms folded. She says, that was really fucking stupid. Dansby, you have a lot of promise, but I can't have someone on my team who can't control themselves.
She hurt my friend.
It's gonna happen. Obviously, this game, you're not going back in. Next game, you're not going to be back in. And if you can't show me that you have some control over yourself between now and the game after that, I'm going to have to cut you.
Understood.
Get your street clothes on. Get out of here.
Yes, ma'am.
And she turns and heads back on to, like, back out to tend to the rest of the players, and figure out, you know, like the refs are figuring out who's getting penalties, what the penalties are. But obviously, everyone saw what happened and that you were the first one to, you know, strike a blow.
Yep.
And leaving Leia with this kind of like very visibly like the beginnings of a black eye, you can feel that you've like, you know, something has popped out of place, something is strained, like you have like an actual yeah, you have like an actual injury that needs to be tended to. And I think as like we'll kind of like fade to black for a second, and in that fading to black there is a flash of the impact of Leia hitting Jovi, like like that image from season 1. But we're actually going to flash back a little bit to the first day of the semester. Everyone's, you know, getting ready for the new semester. You're back from winter break, and you know, it's like everyone's moving in, you know, like unless you're an athlete or something like that, probably just like, you know, the weekend before classes start. Some of you have like more classes that are actually like in your field as opposed to just like a bunch of gen eds. And you know, there's like a lot of hustle and bustle. People are excited to see each other again. People are, you know, even some people like exchanging Christmas gifts for like, you know, like you're back after Christmas break. And Sully, you actually have a letter. I think it's probably I would say it's just in your campus mailbox, but I just feel like Sully's probably not checking his campus mail that often.
You know what? But Jovi is. Jovi's checking the campus mail.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, maybe Jovi has started checking your mail for you.
That's the segue. You hit Jovi. Jovi is my roommate.
Yeah. And yeah, you have a piece of mail. Oh, I don't know why I'm looking over here. I have it over here. And it is a letter from Sam, who you have not really heard from over winter break.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna put it in our Discord.
Okay.
Copy and paste it. If you want to read it aloud, you can, or if you'd rather not read it aloud, I can. But it is in there.
In our Discord. All right, let's go find it. There it is. Do I read it out loud? What?
Up to you. If you want to read it out loud, you can, or if you like don't want to read out loud, I can read it. Either one's fine.
Could you? Because I'm blind.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
So you have a letter. I think Jovi hands it to you with like some other stuff that was like maybe even in your campus mailbox from like last semester. That just
it just stayed there.
Nothing super important. But the letter reads, "Dear Sully, I never said thank you for last semester, or well, fully thank you for all of it. So thank you. Anyways, going back to school after all that happened was a little hard, so I took a break. I am taking a break. A longer break than expected. So I might be a little late with the start of the new year. Don't worry. There's a part of the training to be the chosen one, TM, that I never got the opportunity to complete. And after getting, kidnapped, there's a part of me that wants to complete it. Even if I don't get the opportunity to have the official title, I want to make sure that I can protect all of you like you did for me. But before I can do that, I've got to be able to protect myself. So I'm writing to make sure you know that I'm okay and doing big things, but also you got to keep me updated with what's happening in class. The current read of my little side quest is the Song of Achilles. Have you read it yet? As I try to hone my skills mentally and physically, a quote that keeps bouncing in my head from it is, "Name one hero who was happy." I can say meeting all of you makes me happy, but does that make us heroes? Miss you, Sam.
Aw. Take a moment, and I just have this Song of Achilles is gonna break her. That is the saddest book I have ever read. I kind of like fold it up and I put it back into the envelope in my desk. Is there a return address?
Yeah, I think there would be. It is like I think Janine said that Sam was like on a mountain somewhere or something. So I don't even know exactly where it is, but there would be a return address.
Just on a mountain meditating under waterfalls and wrestling bears. Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be in the Rocky Mountains, so they could wrestle like Mothman or something.
Well, Mothman's in Appalachia, not the Rocky.
Oh yeah, Appalachia. Switching mountains. I should have known Appalachia. I'm over here.
Listen, if Sam is having like an impromptu romance with Mothman right now, that's great. I am ecstatic. Mothman is a great guy. He's actually just a fey creature that can't go back to his realm. Like he came came to like on a safari with his family. And
you're saying he got Home Alone.
He got Home Alone.
And Kevin McAllister is what you're saying.
That's what happened to Mothman. He got Home Alone as a child in Appalachia like a few million years ago and has not been able to get back.
Oh, so sad.
So actually, if there's a return address, I will, I guess, write her back, but at the same time, it's still the first day, so yeah. I just, I say, "Hey Sam, it's cool, that's, and it was no problem rescuing you. My pleasure. Plus, my mom would kill me if I didn't. Be careful with the bear wrestling. They're not as strong as you. Also, Madeline Miller will break your heart." And, like, miss you, Sully, fold it up, write it up, send it back. Like,
yeah. And just for anyone watching, so Janine, who plays Sam, is not going to be on stream for the first 2 episodes of this one and the next one. But they did write that letter from like Sam, so that was Janine's writing, which was very sweet. And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll get another letter from Sam next episode.
Yeah.
So yes, we have that flashback to like the first day of school that kind of establishes. So at this point, when we go back into like, the regular flow of time, all of you know Sam's fine. She's on her training arc. But I think, yeah, where do you all want to go after? So we left off with the scene with Leia being berated and injured. We can either pick up with like later that night, or if we want to skip to the next day. What do you all want to do?
I think with Sully, after all of this goes down and B is a little excited, he's gonna ask her like, you wanna get out of here? Like,
yeah, she just like nods.
Mm-hmm. You want to go work out some of those frustrations you have? You can frustrate on me all you want.
She has an expression that she's irritated that she's attracted to you. After you say that,
I mean, that's how we all feel about men, okay? That's how all bisexuals feel about men, okay?
Yeah. And kind of rolls her eyes. I think she says, she's I want to make sure Leia's okay. But after that, yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, cool. I'll do you want me to come with you for backup, or do you want to be by yourself?
I'll go by myself.
All right, cool. I'll just and I just scooch next to Athena. Over here.
Yeah, B goes off. And you can see she's like kind of trying to figure out how she can even get to where Leia is. Because it's like not where a normal student is just like allowed to go, especially in this situation. Are Athena and Sully talking about anything?
This is the start of a new semester and you're already being horny as fuck.
I would like to point out that I am returning the horniness directed in my direction. Like, I am just being polite about it.
Also, what was that line? What was that line? It was so cringe. I'm surprised that did not make her just be the Sahara at that moment. No offense. But it was bad. It was very bad.
I don't remember what line you're talking about because all of my lines are very bad.
I wish for a moment, every now and then when I think, man, I need to do better at this. I wish I could have your delusional confidence that you have just every time you think your pickup lines are great. I feel like I could conquer the entire world if I had that, but alas, that would make me too powerful.
You know what? Maybe I can give you something. Like, there's magic for that, right? Like, do you just want to, like...
Are you offering me drugs?
You know all I got's growers. I don't want to... Listen, I... Unfortunately, my drug guy is dead now. So...
Oh, yeah.
I don't have
Sorry to bring that up.
I don't have a local person anymore. And the thing is, it's like, after last semester, I'm not risking bringing anything across the border, let alone being charged for federal drug trafficking, because that's what happens when you bring marijuana across the border. But I'm sure we can find someone that has drugs. Do you want to go do drugs?
As long as it's not any of the Fae, I don't trust them with that shit.
Oh,
Also, I probably shouldn't see them, but
no.
Semantics.
By the way, I know you're not trying to see them, but just because he's separate, have you run into Mothman since we arrived? I think that's probably why you haven't run into other Fae, because it's like a territorial thing, right?
Well, for him, it's fine. It's mainly because we are kind of ostracized from the Fae community, granted in different reasons, but we do meet on occasion for lunch just to talk about that and hash that out. But I haven't seen him recently. I've been busy.
I'm asking because, well, I did promise Jovi a meet and greet with him, and I haven't seen him.
Promised him
It was okay, but listen, it was to save our asses. And he tried his best to follow through, but the thing is, and he did his best. So, the thing is I don't know if he's ready for the absolute sex appeal that is Mothman.
He's not.
Because, like, I can barely contain myself, and I am a heterosexual man. Man is, yeah.
Athena just stares. It's like, Really? Okay. If I see him, I'll let him know that an interview is being requested and to get in contact with you.
Okay. Thanks.
Uh,
I mean, you have my
Hopefully.
snap. You have, man. Does Moth have snap? I don't know. Should get him on that. Like,
Uh,
anyway,
Meanwhile,
I think B is gonna go try and lick Leia's wounds.
why are you like? It just pushes his head and just goes back to talking with like someone from the jazz club and just holding him like that.
that's definitely the cut to be. So Leia, a little bit of time has passed. You've had time to like get into like your regular clothes, but I don't think you've like left the dressing room yet.
I was gonna say pretty much as soon as she's left alone, um, because like most of her gear was already lost on the ice. The rest of it, like her shoulder pads and the shorts, she's just throwing it against the locker and just is like cursing to herself. And there's a point where like she balls up her fist and she hits her locker in frustration, and then she just winces back because all the skin is off of her knuckles at this point. It's just raw flesh hitting that.
Um, as you're reacting to having punched your one of the lockers, you get a phone call from B.
Hello?
Hey, are you okay?
Uh, fine, okay.
Um, they wouldn't let me come back and talk to you and check on you, but I just wanted to call. Do you need me to drive you to the hospital?
I'm probably physically fine. They don't. The trainers don't come if you're the reason you got hurt. So,
Well, I'm supposed to go hang out with Sully, but um, if you want, I could go back to the dorm and I can really give you a ride to, even urgent care if you want.
I think that, on the other end, Leia looks at her hand. Her hand is definitely like shaking at this point, and she is normally very calm and put together. And so her hesitation is a lot of, I don't want someone to see me like this because this sucks. And then more of it she like feels at, like, again, definitely nosebleed, definitely has like blood all over her jersey front. Some of it is hers, some of it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay, yeah. I'll go and like where my car's parked. I'll meet you over there. And I'll give you a ride.
Okay. Thank you.
She hangs up. Sully, you having just come back. You get a text from B that says, giving Leia a ride to urgent care. Like rain check with a question mark.
I just sent a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
And I look over at Athena. It's like, Leia's going to urgent care. Must have gotten busted up pretty bad. I mean, there's the pause. Should do she doesn't have super healing, doesn't she? Like Wolverine?
Well, Wolverine's not a werewolf, so
No, he's not.
different things.
Just right. I know. One is in the weasel family, and she's not a weasel.
I personally don't really know. I honestly feel like any type of regenerative abilities happens once you are older and a bit more in groove with what you can do type of vibes. I don't think Leia probably has that yet, if she is able to do that.
I mean, we got people at the hospital, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah, we have people at the hospital.
Well, if she doesn't get that one vampire, that's weird. Maybe I should send her a fruit basket. I think I may have also been a part of as why she's going to urgent care. Oh,
that vampire, she's something else. But yeah, maybe she should get her. No, she shouldn't.
All right. Well, I'll walk you back to your dorm so you can get ready for.
Oh, you're gonna walk me back? That's so nice.
I might as well be nice. You got cock blocked by the lesbian hockey player. Temporarily.
Okay,
maybe.
Okay. Maybe. But I also kind of encouraged it a little because I am not starving or anything, right? She's just
Again, more cuckolding jokes could apply here, but let's just go.
Well, maybe that's my kink, Athena. Did you ever think about that?
That's why I said it.
Don't shame me, okay?
Just pointing it out. It's not shaming.
Okay.
You two head off to Sully's dorm, which actually all of you are in the same dorm, which is a freshman dorm. My camera keeps unfocusing. Can I get it back? Hello? No, not really. I'll work on it on break, which is going to be in a few minutes. You two head over to the freshman dorms, and Sully, I think, is on a higher floor, and I think, yeah, a couple things are gonna happen. Number one, Athena, when you and Sully get to Sully's room, there is a woman, a student who was in your freshman orientation class. But I don't think she came up at all during last season because there were 15 or 20 students. Come on, please just there we go. Her name is Chloe Johnson. And she is your age. She was in your class. And she's kind of standing kind of around near Sully's door, and kind of doing the thing of acting casual, she just happens to be there. And as soon as she sees the two of you, goes, "Oh, Sully, is this are you this Sully on the door?"
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just, I was walking by and I saw your name and I was like, "Oh, I wonder if that was Sully from, Gen 100." And then I was like, "Oh, I'll just wait around here and see if it's that Sully." So, and it is. So I live in this, I live in this dorm too, which makes sense because we're both freshmen. What have you guys been up to?
So who are you again? I'm sorry.
She actually rolled to shut someone down. I always forget to have people roll in this game.
just completely, he doesn't mean to shut them down. He just has no idea who she is because Val was spaced out for a second, so he was spaced out for a second.
Yeah. Also, she was not really in season 1, so Sully hasn't had maybe meaningful interactions.
Shut someone down is cold, right?
Yes, plus cold.
Okay. That's a straight up 9. 5 plus 4.
Yeah. Okay. So on a 7 to 9, you get to choose from some options, but you come across poorly, and she gives you a condition in return. Okay. So she doesn't have a string on you. So your options would be to gain 1 on her, give her a condition, or you take +1 to your next roll.
I will give her the condition. Stranger.
Good. How for the condition back, I could make this paint Sully in a bad light through no fault of yours, Val. Is that okay?
Yes, please give it Space Cadet.
Okay. So I think you say like, who are you? And as soon as you say it, it clicks into place. You don't super know Chloe, but you have made out with her before.
Oh no! Oh no, it was
You
dark!
harlot!
Sometime between, like the end of last season and this season.
Oh no.
It was a party, you don't like super know her. So she is just going to give you the condition of, I think, just asshole. I think. As the words are leaving your mouth, you're like, oh shit, like I actually do recognize her.
Oh no. Oh no.
And she just goes like, okay, I guess people have said that you make out with a lot of girls, but I didn't realize that I was okay. All right, no.
Hold on, sorry. It's that's not what I meant.
What could you have meant by who are you?
To be fair to him, he is a bit of a himbo, so that's not an offense to you, I swear.
It's really not. One, you're not incorrect about the amount of girls that I've made up with, but you're also like, it's not as many as you think it is. So, for example, Athena and I have never made out, and I've known Athena my whole life.
Why am I being brought into this?
You're here.
Can I leave? Chloe, do you need me to leave for this, or
No, it's fine. I'll leave. And
no, you
number
don't
of
have
times
to go anywhere. I'm just trying to say, sorry. It's just that I was not paying attention to my surroundings because I haven't eaten yet today.
She looks a little bit like, like that's not good. It's like late in the day. But kind of just like
something to eat, and we can talk about who you are.
Sully, all I'm gonna say is the number of times you could have made out with a girl is now one less, and walks away.
You know what?
Wait, I want to do a thing. I want to do a thing real quick. I want to do a thing just real quick.
Eva or Athena?
Yes.
Yeah, what are you doing?
We haven't seen Athena do any like flirtatious stuff yet, so we'll do this.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Chloe, I'm so sorry for my very, 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 very one-tracked minded friend. Because I know how to deal with him and I feel bad, I would like to take you out for like some coffee at another time. If you are willing to give me your number.
Yeah, roll to turn someone on.
Yay! And that is hot. So,
and you know what? I'm going to say you get a +1 to this. You're not taking advantage of her condition, but you're kind of taking advantage of Sully's condition.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Sully
you can get
has
a
like
+1.
a moment where he's just like, you know what? That's probably why I don't remember her, because I never asked her for her number.
10.
Definitely don't have her number.
Oh, perfect. So on a 10, you get a string on her, and she gets to choose a reaction, which is two of the options are kind of similar as far as the outcome to this. One is I give myself to you, and one is I promise something I think you want, which is going to result in the same thing, which is that she gives you her phone number, and says like, yeah, hit me up. I'm usually free on Wednesday nights, and like kind of like gives you like a flirty look, and then like turns and gives Sully like a see, I can like some people care about me kind of
I
look.
just give her a thumbs up. I'm super happy that she's found a rebound so quickly.
He's such a himbo.
100% takes that in a negative way. you're being passive aggressive even though you're not.
You really need to work on your social cues.
And she flounces away. Um, and I think that's a good place for us to take our break. So we are going to be on a break for the next 10 to 15 minutes. During the break, anybody who's watching, you can get a drink, get a snack, take your meds if you need to. We're going to run some ads while we're on break so that they'll be off for the rest of the stream. And then also during the break, why don't you head over to the Girls Run These Worlds YouTube channel and subscribe there if you haven't already, because season 1 of the show is already up there in its entirety, and it's pretty good, I would say. But yeah, we will see you all soon. Bye. we're back for the second half of our series 2, season 2, series finale. We're not British. This is a season, not a series. Of MonsterHearts freshman year. So far, we had a little recap of season 1, and then we had a brawl at the college women's hockey match. We also had some flirting, some shutdowns. So far, an eventful start to the season, which is just how we like it. We also explained where Sam is going to be for the first 2 episodes in her training arc. But let's cut back into I think the waiting room of the nearby urgent care. It's a college campus. There's always going to be an urgent care somewhere relatively close by. It's not like, it's evening, but it's not super late at night. And Leia, B is sitting next to you in the waiting room, kind of every couple seconds, kind of like looking over at you a little bit like anxiously, because you are pretty beaten up. I think the eye probably at this point has pretty much swollen shut.
Yeah.
And the nosebleed has stopped, but there's still, the bruises are beginning to become visible. You're not looking so good.
Yeah, and I think that I'm probably like chicken winged a little bit from the last hit that I took.
Yeah.
Or I'm just like holding my side of the part where I got kidney punched.
Yeah. Yeah, something is definitely wrong. You can tell, like, this is more than just getting, a little bit bruised up. And I think B is just kind of sitting there looking around, and she's like, have you been this hurt from hockey before? Like, you seem, I don't know, I'd be freaking out.
I not from fighting. Sophomore year of high school, I broke a couple of ribs in a tournament, actually. Girl came up and blindsided me and knocked me into the boards, and I felt the crunch, and I missed the rest of the tournament. So I maybe got a little upset. She didn't get a penalty for it. The ref said it was all incidental contact, but I'd been headhunted the whole night. So I saw that happening to Trinity. I maybe got a little bit protective, which turned into a lot of bit stupid.
I don't think it was stupid. I mean, like, that girl was really playing dirty, so I think you were totally in the right. I hope you didn't get into, like, too much trouble. Like,
yeah. I mean, fighting, instigating is always a game disqualification, so I'm missing next week no matter what. And then also, if I don't get my act together, then I get cut from the team, I lose my scholarship, and I probably have to move back home and figure out what I'm doing with my life, because it won't be the Olympics or the PWHL. But other than that, yeah, it's fine. No trouble. No trouble at all.
she, like, kind of goes to, like, put her arm, like like her hand on you, and then, like, kind of pulls her hand back because you're, like, injured. And is like, all of that just because, like, one fight? That seems like that's so unreasonable.
It's not done. You're supposed to take the high road, and I didn't. And I'm supposed to know better, and I did know better, which is what makes the whole thing worse.
She just looks like she doesn't really know what to say next. And then puts a hand on, probably, like, your mid thigh, which is maybe the only place that doesn't look like visibly injured. And kind of like puts her hand there and says, well, I thought you were great out there. And, it's probably they're just like trying to freak you out so you don't do it again. But like, I don't think you're going to get cut from the team.
Did I look hot when I pulled the helmet off?
She actually, do you want to roll to turn someone on again?
Yeah, sure. I think that she immediately was like, I've always first time I really like dropped the gloves, and so I've had this fantasy image how hot it would look. I just that is an 8.
Perfect. Okay. So she can either give you a string or choose one of the reactions. Huh. I think actually, since we're so early on in the season, I think it's more interesting if she gives you a string than if she does one of the other things, because that gives you something to like. We've already got one from earlier, so you'll have 2 strings on her, which is pretty good. And she doesn't act like flustered or anything. She kind of like laughs and she's like, yeah, I mean, like if I was into girls, like that totally would have done it for me.
Well, I hope someone in the crowd got something out of that, because my face hurts pretty bad and I might not be here next week, so silver linings.
As you say that, someone like comes out from like the back part of the office and says, Leia Dansby,
That's
are you
me.
here? B says, do you want me to wait around to give you a ride back?
Yeah. Unless you have something more important to do.
No, I can just text Sully. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be great. I'd can be kind of sketchy walking home late at night, and I already lost one fight. So
Yeah, she says, yeah, sure. Like I'll wait here for you. Give you right back. I'll be your nurse.
I'm a really bad patient. My parents can tell you that.
She like smiles as you like head off back with, like the actual nurse. And so because you're like actually going to the doctor, you can take off that one harm as you like receive medical care, but you're still pretty dinged up.
Yeah.
So, mechanically you don't have one harm, but feel free to lean into the more superficial injuries as much as you'd like, because they're still there. And let's cut back over to the dorms. Athena, you're headed back like down the stairs to your dorm room. And Kylie's not there. Like I think she went off and like did stuff with like other friends after, or maybe even like stayed around for like the rest of the hockey
Bless her
game.
heart.
Like, yeah.
Bless her heart.
So you get back to your dorm room, and the room has this, like, as you open the dorm room, there is this scent in the room of like roses, lavender, lilac, like all of these floral scents kind of hit your nose. Which, first of all, it's winter, and second of all, it's your dorm room. You didn't have any of that kind of like scent in the room. And even the dorm also almost seems like almost like a golden hour-esque light in here, even though the only lights on are like your desk lamp and the overhead light if you flip it on.
I swear to everything that is good. I swear to everything that is good. If what is happening, what I think is happening, I am going somewhere else. She's gonna close the door and just like walk in a little bit more and
Oh, you're
look
walking.
around
I
the
thought
scene. Yeah, she's gonna walk in and close the door behind her and just like
yeah.
check around to see if anything is missing or tampered with, or if there's a presence here. And if anything bad shit happens, she's turning right back around.
Yeah. So it does not take long to see the thing that is new here. Nothing's been taken. But as you are kind of looking around, standing on your desk is a tiny little person, like, like 6 inches tiny. Um, and with these wings and this kind of glow about them, they're dressed in like, one of those classic like the flower fairies like illustrations with like a little like lily dress, like lily flower dress. Looking up at you and says,
Which court?
I am here as a member of the court of Queen Mab to let you know that this is your notification that you'll need to find a new place to live because Queen Mab is claiming ownership over this territory.
Since fucking when?
Since now.
Why? What? I know you're just a messenger, so this is not really towards you. I don't really have beef with you as a messenger. I love your hair, by the way. Why? What the fuck is happening?
As soon as you say you love her hair, she like visibly is like preening.
What? She's gonna squat a little bit just to be more on like the even level, respectfully. What the fuck is happening?
Well, I'm not at liberty to divulge all of the ins and outs, but rest assured, Queen Mab has the rights to this land and is choosing to exercise them. So you and your sister, because of your exile from Fairy, will need to make new accommodations.
And where is the limit? The how how large is this territory, if I may kindly ask?
Yeah, she like pulls out like a little map, and it's kind of interesting because it's a map of like how fairies have kind of like divvied up, so it's not like the state map or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at it, it's pretty much like Millwood, which is the town that you're in, and then like the forest of like Portage Woods is like this new section. So it's basically like and like a little bit outside of that. Like probably I would say looking at it, you would be like, it's like basically this county. Pretty inconvenient because like if you would have to commute, it would be like probably 2 hours. If you had to move off campus. And like really you couldn't even attend school here anymore because you're not supposed to be like anywhere that like is under fairy control.
Okay. Do you mind if I take a picture of this real quick? Just for my own accountability?
She actually says, "Oh, actually, hang on 1 second," and like touches the map and it like becomes like because you're looking at it and it's like her size.
Oh yes,
Like it's like so little.
so happy to
And
have bird vision.
yeah, she touches it and there's like some like classic of like the fairy dust, like Tinkerbell style, and it like grows into this like bigger size map. And she's like, "That's for you to keep."
Thank you. And she's going to go over to her desk and like rifle through like some of her things, like Queen Map Court. What do you guys like again? Uh
Yeah, she says, "Well, Queen Map is her domain is dreams, and
okay.
also we're a flower fairy court."
Do you want some lavender oil? Is
Oh,
that
I think that would be too strong for me, whatever you
okay?
have. I'm
That's
just
fair.
little.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see. I have some pressed flowers. Are pressed flowers okay?
I think she looks at you and kind of like looks a little bit like coy and she's like, "Well, I'm really not supposed to take gifts."
Hey, consider it just a token of your excellent work in passing the message along and appreciation. I insist.
Well, I really shouldn't take it as a gift, but if you'd like, I could take it as an offer in a trade.
What could you offer in return?
Well, perhaps there is an appeals process.
Yes.
So if
we could do the trade. Here's my pressed flowers, and we could talk. And then as soon as that's all done, there's furious all caps texting to Sully. I need your mother's contact information now. And then she's texting Kylie. Fuck, queen map, fuck, and then she's texting. Then she's calling her mother. Fuck, queen map, fuck.
Yeah, so you very quickly do this trade where my camera where she exchanges, takes these flowers from you and gives you essentially like a form to fill out, like a magical form, where she's like, just if you fill this out, then perhaps you'll be able to seek an audience with the queen, and see if there's anything that we can do to work this out.
Thank you so much.
When you like go like this, and as soon as you like look back up into your eyes, she is gone, and that golden glow in the room and the scent of flowers has disappeared along with her. Kylie is like and then you go on, you're like texting and calling everybody, and Kylie immediately responds which is like fuck, like text back,
and now it's just different forms of saying fuck back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
We just start a group chat between the three of us now, and I leave.
She'll bring you into the fuck like screaming match right now. It's like, I'm gonna be kicked out. I don't know enough law to do this. I need a lawyer, actually.
Sully will text back, does Mothman know about this?
Not the time about Mothman! I'm getting deported!
I'm just saying,
county.
Did Mothman yield his territory? That's what I'm asking. Like, okay. I'll put you in a, adds mom to group text.
Also, kind of just bringing Leia into this real quick, because she just randomly remembered that she has a brother that's also a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Sully, you add your mom to the group chat in kind of the midst of all of this, like everyone's like fuck and all this different stuff. She immediately leaves the group chat, and she adds a different person and leaves. She basically swaps herself out. Which is in. Yeah, like literally valid. Her personal assistant, and I don't have a name for her personal assistant, but joins in the group chat. That's too close to B though.
Oh, that's
so
true.
It's gonna be confusing.
Hold on a second.
Electo. Let me look at my NPCs and see if there's anyone. No, I think that's fine.
There we go.
That's not too close to anybody else.
Yeah,
so her personal assistant Electo, who like starts like kind of gathering, information, and kind of I think Athena, the form that you have has like a place to like put the names of the complainants, basically, what you're contesting, and what kind of like your like reasoning for contesting this, and also space for any like rights that you may have over like being in this territory, basically. So it's kind of like, do you have a legal claim to this? Do you have a reason that's not legal that you're like, I should be here for like XYZ, and then just like kind of information about you specifically, and I think you would know enough about this, or even like calling your mom would know that like this is the kind of thing like you fill it out and then like when you like when you sign your name at the bottom it like is a magical form that will go to Queen Mab. So that's like kind of your way of communicating.
Okay. She's going to spend she, at the same time as she's doing all of this, she's also sending an edible arrangement because of just frustration. But she does remember she's doing this. As she's doing all that, she's looking over the form as best as she can. She's a freshman in law. She's not going to know much, but she's going to just go back and forth with everyone that could help her to be like, does everything look legit before I send this fucking form out?
There's also like such a blind spot because it's like, okay, so like the like your mom's assistant is kind of like going back with like your mom's like legal whatever like her lawyer Sully, but like they don't necessarily like that lawyer is not, it's like one of those things where it's like he doesn't have a specialty in like Fae law, which is like its own thing. Athena, of course, you're you know in school for pre-law, but you're also learning like human law. It's like a helpful, it's like helpful to read this, but you know like the laws are not gonna be the same.
Leia, just texting the Leia real quick. This is gonna be very weird, but does your brother happen to know Fae law? Respond to this when you can. Take your time.
I was gonna say, I think as soon as Slay gets added to the group chat, what she says is "face broken, talk tomorrow," and then she turns her phone off.
That's fine. That's fine. Oh my god. Why?
Face broken.
I'm just gonna walk over to your room at this point because
you see me mid-text thinking about, should I message Chris about this? Would he know Fae law? He's supposed to be a protector.
He might, because he is like his realm is to know of like protecting magical creatures and stuff like that. So he might.
Is Queen Mab Seelie or unseelie?
So I think for this, it's not, I'm not necessarily doing like the Seelie unseelie thing. It's more like Fae have different smaller courts.
Smaller courts, yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't classify her as either of those, strictly speaking. But like
would it be, is Queen Mab a part of the court that her mom was a part of, or is it a different court?
Probably a different court than your mom was a part of. But if I'm remembering correctly, your family is basically like expelled from like all of Fairy, kind of.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. So it's not like the same court because your mom was in the summer court, right? So Queen Mab's in a smaller court. That's a point for your favor. Like smaller, also like literally, her court is little teeny tiny fairies. Like her court are like these like little like classic like Victorian like fairy kind of vibe.
Little pixies.
It's
what is she gonna do with tiny pixies? Like we can. Her court is so tiny. Why? We could just. You know what? Let's just make our own court.
That's a lot of paperwork. And also I would have to
I'm an
murder
English
people.
Major.
I also have to fight some people. I don't feel like fighting people right now.
Okay. I mean, but at the same time, like you can't they gotta at least let you finish the semester, right? Like you can't just leave now.
They don't care about that shit. If it was, it's mainly, the issue is I'm not supposed to be in any Fae area whatsoever. My mom effed up and we got kicked out of all of it. It's not just the summer court shenaniganry. So as much as Queen Mab is on a smallest level than summer court, I'm still breaking the law technically per se by being here.
So you got kicked out of.
I got cursed and kicked out.
You got cursed and kicked out because of something your mom did.
She did follow proper protocols to have me and my sister, so yeah.
Okay,
I got cursed and kicked out.
Oh my god, you guys are bastards. You never told me that.
Bastard half humans. I thought I you this before.
I
remember when we were in camp, I looked a lot different.
that is true. I mean, technically, I'm also a bastard because I was born when my mother bled after she kissed Poseidon, or I don't know. Like, it's all, like, listen, you're half fae, I'm a god horse, like, I don't, I'm saying is, I don't see how you should be paying for the sins of your mom. And maybe that's something that you can bring up.
You, as a god horse yourself, or demi-god horse thing, you should know as well as I do, these higher-ups don't give a flying fuck. They will do everything in their power to strangle a child of someone who did, like, just burped in the wrong direction.
There's just this moment on Sully's, like, this moment of expression on Sully's face. And he's like, I know what I must do.
What do you need to do? Oh my god, what are you going to do? Oh my god, what are you going to do?
I am going to seduce Queen Mab.
No, absolutely not. I'm forbidding you right now.
And I'm going to make it to where she's not going to follow proper protocol. And she will be forced.
No, you are going to make this worse. I feel it in my wings. I'm texting Chris.
Okay, sure, I won't seduce Queen Mab.
I'm going to look you square in the face. I want you to look me in my eyes right now, Sullivan. Are you planning to actually do this?
I'm not planning on it. But if it happens, I'm not going to stop it.
I'm texting Chris.
Sully says love is love. What is Athena?
Pick someone better.
What is Athena texting Chris? Just kind of the whole situation.
You said you are a protector. I need protecting. Do you happen to know Faye Long? Or know someone who does?
You immediately get a text back from Chris that says on my way.
Oh my god.
Oh, I better give you some space.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What are you implying?
Actually, I came here for a reason, not just to soothe your ease. Do you have Moth's number, by any chance?
Hold on. Is it really that important to get Jovi to talk with Mothman?
It's not for Jovi, it's for me. I gotta talk to Moth, okay?
About what?
Guy things?
I'm texting Mothman. Does he actually have like a name? So
I do
not think you have Mothman's phone number. I was gonna say.
Actually, let's do this. She's going to open a window.
Yeah.
She's going to hold like one of those weird like Victorian candle like things out and just hook it there. And just make it seem like it's blooming a bit more like a disaster's about to happen to maybe see if like that can summon Mothman.
Summon Mothman?
Oh no, a disaster! A fire! Oh my
god! What's happening?
Sully really wants to talk to
Mothman. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have you roll Gaze into the Abyss. This is not to summon Mothman, but this is to have some information about what's going on.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
She didn't say anything about me convincing Mothman to not seduce Queen Mab.
No.
Athena wants to fight Sully.
He's trying to help you.
I understand.
Bestie, let him.
That's an 8.
Okay, with an 8. The Abyss shows you confusing and alarming visions, but you get your answer nonetheless. Okay. So here's what I'll say. Mothman definitely like active in this area. I think with a mixed success, you're not some of the stuff that Sully is saying, you're like, that seems true. Some of the stuff that Sully is saying, you're like, that doesn't seem accurate. um, and like just I feel like just kind of a vibe with Sully. Like he hears something and kind of just injects his own, like, this is what this means.
He might have read a Mothman romance recently.
He's getting his details a little bit mixed up. So here's what I'll say. I really am taken with this idea of Mothman as Kevin McAllister, essentially, which I've never heard as a theory before, and I do really like it. So, so I think you are able to. So this iteration of Mothman that you're all trying to contact, I think definitely does not have a cell phone. It definitely is not like easily reachable. Like he is like a cryptid ass cryptid. Like this is not like I'm a guy and I'm interacting in society, but really I'm Mothman. You know that I like the idea that he's technically a fae. But also I think he is not a part of any court.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing of like Mothman, it being like, oh well, he has domain over like this area. Athena, I think you're like, I don't know if that is true. That doesn't seem true. And I think your idea of like trying to like summon him with a disaster or something like potentially could work, but like not on like a one-to-one, like I'm gonna do this thing and then Mothman will be summoned, like kind of.
Yeah, this is
kind
of just like I'm already frustrated and this is very bullshit. My life is a disaster, so let's add like a tiny flame just hanging outside my apartment to add to that.
So I think you're uncertain whether Mothman would be able to help you with the specific legal predicament you're in. But not impossible for like Sully to have something where like Jovi meets up with Mothman. You're like, that's maybe doable. But yeah, I think of you like you're kind of like trying to sort through again, like these are so many different kinds of worlds colliding where like Sully is like talking about Greek mythology, you're talking about fairy stuff, then we're talking about Mothman, like all this different stuff is jumbling together. Yeah, they all exist. All of them have like kind of different rules. So yeah, you're kind of
show up. If he happens to show up, cool. If he doesn't, cool. We'll find him for Jovi one way or another. And she's just going to lie face first into the floor, into the carpet.
I'm gonna lie on my back next to you.
Apparently Chris is on his way, so if you can open the door when he gets here, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotcha. Oh my god, I'm having a ringing tinnitus in my ear for real. I'm losing. Hold up, I have to take a moment because this is the last time I'll hear this frequency ever in my life. Because that's what it is. Like, whenever you just get that random ringing in your ear, that's the last time you will hear that frequency in your life. Like, that's your hearing being lost. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. So
what an upsetting thing to be.
15 seconds.
So sad and also beautiful.
Yeah. Yes,
this is what you get with a live actual play, folks. You get to watch someone lose a frequency of hearing in live action.
And I'm on my bullshit today. I was like, yeah, I'll get the door for you, friend. Sorry if I'm sorry that I seem like I'm being useless. It's just, I pick up on feelings really easily.
And you say that you're an empath?
And I'm not an empath, I'm a horse. And and it's just, I'm picking up what, I understand how bad this feels for you, because I'm by you and I feel all of that energy and that tension, and I'm really sorry And whenever I feel those things, I want to make it stop as soon as possible. And so I was just trying to help you to help make it stop.
Athena sits up for a bit, removes her shirt, and then just outstretches her wings, and her one wing just pats Sully on the head as she leans back down to just be sprawled out,
There's
wings
an
out.
entire moment where he's just like titties, and then like
yeah, I do think Athena. I do feel like you should roll to turn someone on because you can do that unintentionally. And I think if you say I'm taking off my shirt.
I just want to stretch out the wings, baby. Without tearing anything. 10.
I see Athena as a racerback bra kind of gal because you don't. Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay,
make
so
it
Athena,
lacy, make it fun.
Athena gets a string on Sully. Sully, you get to choose a reaction. I give myself to you, I promise something I think you want, or I get embarrassed and act awkward.
Ooh. And you, okay. What was the first one, real quick?
The first one is I give myself to you, which I feel like is the least, makes the least sense in this situation.
Least sense. You know, kind of like in that moment where there's just really cute cleavage in his face, and he just kind of turns like red away for a second because he's never thought about his best friend's titties like that before, but now that they're there, he kind of is. And he's like, so I'm doing the second option. Is there something that I can actually do to help you right now?
Honestly, I really want some Indian food. I don't know if there's any place around here that has it right this time. What time is it? I don't remember.
It's not super late. Yeah. It's like probably like 8 or 9 at the latest.
Okay.
If I could just have some really good spicy Indian food, that'd be great.
You want some paneer? I could go get you some paneer.
Yeah, I would like that.
Paneer. Okay, I like sit up and I give you a gentle pat on your head. And it's like I'll go get you some Indian food. Text Chris and ask what he wants to, because I'm just gonna get dinner for everybody at this point.
What do you want? We're getting Indian. And also Texas Kylie, we're getting Indian food. What do you want?
We're having man. Yeah.
I think we could jump ahead. So I think we jump ahead a little bit for Sully to like go get the food, Chris to arrive. Also Leia, you after you come back with B to your dorm room, and there is an edible arrangement waiting for you. What does the note on the edible arrangement say, Athena?
You are my superstar, and it's a chibi of an owl.
Do you see this too? They gave me a lot of painkillers.
Yes, it's real. Here, have some cantaloupe. Like she takes off like a piece of cantaloupe that's like in the shape of a star and like holds it over to your mouth.
You don't need to hear comes the airplane. I have a working arm and a half.
So Leia's phone is turned off. Is anyone is Leia like headed to bed for this, or is somebody gonna go try to get her to like physically loop her in for Indian food?
Oh no, you know what she is craving is I think that after she has the deeply unsatisfying cantaloupe, if you think that this girl doesn't just eat carbs and meat, you don't know her at all.
I know that, but there's not a meat edible arrangement around here
yet. Candy business
arrangement with like raw steak. Wow.
So I think that she just sort of like doesn't lie down in bed, but sort of slumps against bed. Is like, I really want elk. I don't know where to find it here, but an elk burger would make me hurt a lot less.
He looks very confused. It's like, I don't I've never had elk. I don't know where I could get elk.
Oh, it's so good. No, we used to have it all the time, like back in the Northwood. Do you want to like go on an elk burger adventure?
Is this the pain meds talking?
Maybe a little.
Oddly enough, elk did used to live in Ontario. In Ohio, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how common elk is now, yeah. I think B kind of like it's not condescending, but it's like in that vein. It's like, I think you should lay down. I'll go see if I can scrounge something up for you. I don't know about elk. And then I'm supposed to hang out with Sully. He hasn't texted me in a little while, but
he runs and does stuff. That sounded weird.
I'll get you some DoorDash. I don't know if elk is an option. How do you feel about like Five Guys?
I mean, I'm gay, so
no, the burger.
Oh. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll DoorDash some Five Guys. The burger.
Thanks for clarifying. I'm really smart, just I broke my face today.
Yeah. You should get some rest. And she is gonna like quickly order you some DoorDash, like 3 burgers from Five Guys and some fries, which is just simply too much food. And is going to go to Sully's room where he's not.
Before she leaves, I'm gonna do something stupid.
Ooh.
Which is as the pain meds plus the actual pain has all kicked in.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out and sort of like not grab sounds too aggressive, but like reach her in. I'm just gonna like, in my mind it looks so much cooler than it is, right? Just sort of kiss the back of her hand and say, "You're my hero."
Sorry, that was my sapphic joy noise.
Later on, Leia, I think you will doubt your memory of this moment. Because there's so much going on, and like even you doing this, like you're picturing it one way, and then I think later you might be like, did I even do that? Did any of this happen, or was I asleep?
Yeah.
But there is a look in her eyes of bisexual panic. And she puts her cool hand like to your forehead, and then like kind of on your cheek for like just a second, before she does depart. But did that really happen? Yes.
And then I immediately roll over and fall asleep, probably before food gets her.
Yeah. So Leia's out for the night. The rest of you are in Athena's room, and we'll cut to like the food has arrived. Sully is back. You're eating Indian food. Chris has arrived during that and has had time to like look over the document and like kind of get the situation. Does Athena tell Chris like what does Athena tell Chris about like your situation with your family and like the Fae goings on?
Yeah, she does not put a shirt back on unless someone specifically tells her, please put a shirt on. She's just going to be bra out, wings out, because this is her private home.
When I come back from the food, there's titties again, and I'm like, oh man!
I don't care. Anyway, but
Chris is not looking at anything below the neck.
I'm being respectful.
These men.
Here's the dealio. Summer court, relatively chill. However, when it comes to our interactions with humans, there tends to be some rules in place. You can have children with them, but typically it's the type of thing you leave the children with them scenario. And also you cut all contact completely, like you just ghost them and then happenstance, a baby's on your doorstep. My mom didn't do that. She actually fell for the dude and got married to him. And then she wanted to raise the kids, me and my sister. So we got cursed because we existed. I'm I'm actually Fae, not a harpy. But it is what it is. I roll with those punches, and I look good doing the things I do as a harpy. My sister is a kitsune, and we have been banished from all of the Fae realms. And we were chill because this area, this county, was just on the outskirts, and then lo and behold, Queen Mab was like, "I'm going to expand territory because I'm quirky." Teehee. So yeah, I hate everything. Hang on. Just eat some bread.
Now,
Some
Chris.
naan.
Yeah. Now, Chris, I gave the suggestion to Athena that we could just
No.
we could have Queen Mab fall in love with someone and have her have a baby.
No,
And I
absolutely
was gonna
not.
volunteer as tribute. But
No,
She's not
that's
gonna.
a bad idea.
Queen Mab's not gonna fall in love with anybody. Like that's not a thing for her.
Okay.
So
Also, you do realize the ramifications of if you were to do something to just tick her off, it would be bad for you and probably a couple of members of your family.
That's why I was gonna volunteer Mothman.
Eat your food. Eat your food. Anyway, do you have anything that can help with this? Please and thank you.
Yeah, so I've definitely done some work for Queen Mab before. Just like in the area, they're so small. And also like she has, her physical land is like not a ton of space, but she does have, the domain of dreams, which is considerably larger. So I've definitely had some, I helped her out in the past. Um, the main thing I would know is, I mean, she loves, I wouldn't say she loves a challenge, but she does love a wager. Um, so if you put on there that you'd be willing to have some kind of wager with her, she's probably open to it.
Do you happen to know if she's good at tapestry weaving? Just out of curiosity.
Or jazz.
Shakes his head.
Or jazz.
He shakes his head. I don't know about that. I mean, so usually with Fey law, she does have, you don't have any legal rights to stay here. So you really are gonna have she's gonna have the upper hand. So typically how it goes with her is, if you say that you're open to a wager, she'll probably set the terms.
Is there any way to maybe use Protector of the County? Because I did help with the thing that happened last semester.
She's not gonna care about that. That was pretty much only humans.
Damn it, humans. Fine. Wager. What type of things would she typically wager for? Like what type of things?
Like usually some kind of like, challenge, like here's what I would say. If you just put on that form that your argument is that you should at least have the chance to like win a challenge or a wager, I'm sure she would, go for that. And then you don't have to accept the wager once she offers it. You could turn it down. But then, that's probably, you'll have to leave.
And the world will be a dimmer place if I do. Fine. She leans back up a bit and just scribbles a couple of things, have Kylie look it over just for verification, and then send it out.
Yeah, as soon as there's like a spot for both of you to sign it because it concerns both of you. So as soon as you both have finished signing it, the paper disappears and there's like a stillness in the air. for a moment, and then the room is immediately filled with that glowing light and the scent of flowers. And you look over, and on like your bed, Queen Mab is like standing in the center of your pillow. There's like a perfect little divot where she's standing. She's surrounded by like courtiers and things like that that are all these like tiny little fairies. Um, she is wearing this gown that is, it's like very the vibe of like Midsommar, when like she has like all of the flowers all over. It's not quite to that extent, but like just covered in like all of these flowers in this big gown. Um, and she says, I'm under the impression that you are willing to make a wager with me in exchange for your ability to stay in this domain.
First, yes, slay. We love seeing someone put their boyfriend in a bear skin and just set him on fire. We love the vibe. Second, yes, Your Highness.
She looks like she doesn't completely understand the reference, but
That's the point.
yeah. But as soon as it looks a little bit like irritated, as soon as you say yes, Your Highness, she like nods. And you can see like the fairy who was here before that talked to you, that you made like the exchange with, is like kind of out of the corner of her mouth going like, "Bow, everybody, bow! You need to bow to the queen."
She's gonna do like the deepest curtsy bow you've ever seen on a person ever. Titties are still out still.
Sully,
but it is a flower bra to be appropriate.
Yeah.
Sully doesn't like bow because he's sitting down on the edge of the bed with his paneer and rice, so he just gives a salute.
Yeah, he gives us like there's like enough of the court that some of them are like really close to you because like they're also like on the bed. Chris, like as soon as Queen Mab showed up, gave this very like deep, gallant, like knightly bow to her. And Kylie kind of like follows your lead, Athena, and like bows as well. And Queen Mab says, yes, a wager. That strikes my fancy, my dear. I think I can think of something. Wasn't I just speaking about this the other day? And kind of looks around to her court, who are kind of like chiming in with approval. Yes, Queen Mab, yes, you were just speaking about this the other day. And like kind of like hyping her up. And she says, it's just the time of year when we're getting close to the time of year when humans are, there's some sort of holiday of love that's coming up. Isn't that true?
Oh no. Yes, you happen to be so correct and beautiful as always, Queen Mab.
Yeah, she like nods and accepts it. And then of course all the court are like, yes, Queen Mab, your beauty knows no bounds. And I like, again, she's the queen. And she says, so wouldn't it be appropriate if we had a competition of sorts?
What type of competition, your majesty?
Oh, nothing too in depth. I just think it would be fun. Which side would be more fun for me? Okay, here's what I think I shall say. On this, Valentine's Day. We'll set that as the end date. Midnight Valentine's Day. That gives you a bit of human time to accomplish this. And I believe I will set the challenge. Should it be 1 is too few? 5 is too many. 4 human couples that you must influence to fall in love between now and midnight on Valentine's Day. And just to make it a little bit more fun, I and my court, if we can break up 4 human couples between now and Valentine's Day, then we'll win the wager. And it'll be simple. It'll be if you win the wager, you'll be permitted to stay without being a member of the court. We won't evict you or exile you. And if I win, then you and your sister will have to vacate the premises.
For clarification, is it strictly human pairings or are monster magically related
Oh,
beings?
yes, yes, yes. Let's open it up to everyone. That's much more fun, I think.
We love inclusion. You are so kind and courteous, Your Majesty.
And just to
Um,
clarify, they have to fall in love.
Is it love or lust?
oh, lust is too easy. Anyone could do lust. I mean, we could do 100 couples in lust between now and Valentine's Day. No, I
We
think
only
it
have so
should be
many
love.
episodes. Okay, fine.
I think it should be love. No, you know it when you see it. It doesn't have to be a forever thing, but a certain degree of love, I think.
Okay.
And just to keep things fair, of course, magic is allowed, but we're not going to be doing any kind of you can't compel someone to fall in love, you know. That's just not in the spirit of things, and I won't be able to compel anyone to fall out of love. It'll be like oh, we can set the mood, we can make things so that they're just happen to be good timing or bad timing. And of course, any help that you want to enlist will be completely proper, as of course I'll be using my court. But no magical compelling on either side, just the power of suggestion.
Next clarifying question. Obviously, I don't think anyone would be perfect for you, Queen Mab, whatsoever, no matter if it is monster or human kind. However, just in case, if someone is to strike your fancy, or I am to strike someone's fancy, are we included in the couple listing or outside of us?
Oh, well, if you want to include yourself and myself in this, of course, that could be permitted at your own risk.
Okay. And just looks over to Chris and Kylie, mainly just for verification. Is this cool with Faye standards?
Yeah, Chris is very carefully like listening to everything that's being said on both sides. And kind of acknowledging. Kylie, it looks like she's like thinking like this is a bad idea, like this is a really bad idea, but doesn't have any other suggestions, so is just like the kind of like quiet panic. Chris doesn't look like he's panicking at all. The wages for him are not very steep, you know, it's not nothing of his is on the line. But looks like he's taking it seriously. And when you look over to him for verification, he kind of like thinks for a second and then gives you like a tiny nod. Yeah, Sully.
Sully's raising his hand. Sorry, Your Majesty. If like 3 people all fall in love with each other in like a polycule situation, does that count as 1 or does that count as 3?
That's a good
Interesting, interesting. That is a good question. We'll count I think a polycule of 3 were to form. Let's count that as 1.5.
1.5. Okay, so 2.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, so
each person counts as a half of a person, I think, for the purposes of this. Not a half of a person, a half of a couple.
A half of a couple, and then, so
yeah, 4 couples. So each person counts as a half of a couple.
It would be 2. If it's 5, it's 2.5.
Yes, I think that makes sense. Right. What is a couple but 2 halves making a whole?
Sure. Okay. All right. You know, I'm just saying, you know, we gotta be modern here, right?
No, and I like that, you know, hashing out the details of a deal before you make it. That's very smart thinking. That's very smart thinking.
See?
Of course, you always have to do that with Faye.
It's like, I'm smart.
Gives you a piece of Nan. Oh no.
Yeah. I think yeah, Queen Mab kind of extends her hand, her tiny little hand to yours, and is like, would you like to shake on it, my dear?
You see Athena pause for a second as she's trying to remember, is it polite to do one finger, like the index finger to shake, or is it the actual full hand? And she'll do whatever she remembers is actual proper protocol for this.
Yeah, I think like a finger like extended kind of like this is like, you know, considered polite. And so yeah, she shakes your finger and gives like a little like giggle and says, oh, this is going to be quite fun. All right, let the games begin, and like immediately disappears from the room.
Oh God, why couldn't I have been cursed to be a succubus? Oh no. I mean,
I think why couldn't I have been cursed to be a succubus is kind of the perfect button for the episode, since we're getting about to wrap up time if my eyes don't deceive me. Um, yeah, I think we leave this episode with the group of everyone in everyone who's in Athena's room kind of looking around and feeling, oh, I forget what this is from. I'm stealing this whole cloth from something else, but the when the Fae have left, you feel a little worse about yourself. Like everything looks a little duller and less beautiful. Um, and because that is kind of like the nature of the Fae, is that they brighten everything around them, but to a degree that can't possibly hold up in real life. And so you're all kind of left in this little like, oh yeah, we're back in the real world where things are not quite as nice and beautiful. And Venus is like, yeah, couldn't I have been cursed to be a succubus? We see Leia outside of, or not Leia, B outside of Sully's room, kind of like knocking on the door and like getting no response and like turning and going back to her dorm where Leia is asleep in bed. And
I'm
again, there's
kicking my
this
foot a little bit. I'm chasing an elk in my dream.
and there is a softness to her gaze that is more than just roommates. And that's where we're gonna wrap up our episode 1 season 2 premiere. So we're gonna go around and reintroduce ourselves, do our outros. And I will start first. So if you are just joining us, my name is Taylor, you see her pronouns. And you can find me online pretty much everywhere at Roll for Felicity. I just joined Letterboxd because I'm wanting to watch more movies this year. So, you can follow me there. That's the most recent thing. But otherwise, Tumblr, Twitter, Blue Sky, blah, 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 all the different sites. And also Twitch, where I stream mostly one shots, but some other things as well. And this Saturday, I'm actually starting. I have a new first episode of a new project I'm doing, that's called Over the Table, which is like a Reddit stories stream, but it's going to be specifically TTRPG stuff. So that's going to be on this Saturday afternoon. Going to be my first episode of that. So you can follow my twitch.tv/roll for Felicity to check that out because it's going to be really fun. And I have some fun guests for that. But I am going to throw it over to Ava to do your outro.
Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here. You can find me anywhere at Madam Ava Couture. I'm still mainly on Twitter because despite it being on fire, it still hasn't sunk yet. This week, you can find me, tech stuff permitting, back on Exquisite Corpse Presents for season 3 of Lunaissance Dune Ray, our Arthurian Thirsty Sword Lesbian campaign, where I played the nervous daughter of King Arthur. But check my Twitter for any other stuff. I'm being added to things, so I'm going to be busy, and I'll update you there and all of my other socials. And I'll throw it over to MJ.
What is up, folks? My name is MJ. You can find me on the internet under a variety of names because I did not know how to brand myself until last year. Ha ha ha. If you like women's hockey, follow me on Twitter at Melanie J. I do a lot of like PWHL live tweets. And you can learn a new sport, and that's super fun, but that's not really promoting me now, is it? I am a professional game master on Start Playing. If you want to see what I'm like on the other side of the table, please come through. I'm going to be opening a whole bunch of campaigns over the next couple of weeks to help me pay for law school, which I'm going to be starting in the fall. And that is all that I am up to at the moment. Someday I'll release music. But in the meantime, I'm going to kick it over to Val.
Hey everybody, my name is Val Drianth, art originator over the internet. I produce TTRPG content for me and my friends. So, what's happening? On my Twitch channel, starting on this Thursday, is the premiere of an Old Gods of Appalachia actual play that's starting for 8 episodes. My friend Jamie is running that. It's called Echoes in the Valley. I'm super excited. On Fridays, Arnica is our game master for our Avatar Legends game. And then on Saturday, we are returning with a 5e Mass Effect actual play, our favorite game of the Citadel, run by our friend Hummelu. So that's what's happening. Oh, I got 4 shows this season. I'm busy. I got a game after this. I'm busy. But yeah, that's me.
I don't think I have any announcements from Girls Run These Worlds other than you can follow us over on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Girls Run These Worlds. I don't know if that's the right link. Look up Girls Run These Worlds on YouTube. You'll find it there. But apart from that, I think that we are finished.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any indication of some raids, but I'll put us on Splash for a bit just in case Council stops in. But we'll see y'all next week.
See ya.